Hi everyone, my name is Mia Dress, and for my research presentation, I chose the topic Does social media influence eating disorders in teenagers? So, my original research idea is Does social media influence eating disorders in teenagers? And I wanted to do this because I think it is a very common to compare yourself to someone on the internet. I've witnessed family members, friends, all comparing themselves to someone on the internet, and I think it can be really hard not to compare yourself to someone on the internet with all the types of social media these days. And I am very interested in learning more about this topic. I think eating disorders are very interesting, and I really want to figure out kind of what influences someone to have an eating disorder. And eating disorders in adolescence are an increasingly important issue nowadays. So, as for my hypotheses, my original hypothesis is that social media negatively influences teenagers and increases body dissatisfaction, leading to an increase of eating disorders among teenagers. And I chose this as my hypothesis because it is really what I think the data would show if I did actually conduct this experiment, and also because I had different sources from some academic articles, and all the research kind of showed that this hypothesis is correct. So that makes my null hypothesis there is no relationship between social media and eating disorders. So, as for my variables, my independent variable is social media usage, and this is the variable that I would manipulate. I would assign one group of participants with using social media every day, and would assign the other group of participants with not using any social media at all. And I would measure the social media usage by tracking how much time they spend on social media apps, and I would also make sure that it is up to the standard of what my study is trying to prove. And then my dependent variable is the eating disorder symptoms. So this is the variable that I would be most interested in. I would measure the participants' eating disorder symptoms by providing surveys and other self-report measures from both groups. And I'll kind of go into that a little later in the presentation as well. So I would choose the participants by using stratified random sampling. I would use this to pick random participants from all backgrounds, but ensure that all participants are within the 14 and 19 age range. And for ensuring ethical conduct, I would make sure to have informed consent from both the participant and the participant parents and or guardians. And I would make sure that when I would publish the data, it would all be confidential and anonymous. And then, of course, I would have respect for autonomy and make sure that participation is voluntary and that the participants are informed of everything that is going to be happening within the study. So for my research strategy, I would definitely use an experimental research strategy for my experiment. For my experiment, I would manipulate the independent variable, which is social media usage, and see how it affects the dependent variable, which is eating disorder symptoms. Using an experimental strategy would allow for a cause and effect type of study, which would make it very easy to collect and evaluate the data. So for my research design, I would do a between subjects design. So I would select two different groups of participants and assign one group to not go on any social media, and I would assign the other group to go on social media every single day. And this would allow for specific results relating to social media causing eating disorder symptoms, which is kind of what I'm trying to study and find out. When it comes to collecting the data, I would make sure to have a lot of self-report measures from the participants. So I would make a lot of surveys and provide them to participants and ask them if they are having any type of body dissatisfaction and or eating disorder symptoms. I would also kind of include within that questionnaire if they are feeling more stressed or if they're having any type of behavioral changes and stuff like that. And as well as that, I would also like to do a psychological evaluation. So I would ask for the participants of the study to be evaluated for more data collection, and I would kind of get their stress levels and a behavioral evaluation from a professional as well. So I would evaluate the data by going through all of the self-report measures the participants have taken, as well as the psychological evaluation, and seeing if there are any indicators of eating disorders / body dissatisfaction in both groups. And I would also see if the group that was assigned to use social media every day has any correlation to eating disorder symptoms, body dissatisfaction by using descriptive statistics. And also I would use inferential statistics to see if my findings are significant or not. So when it comes to reporting the results, I would report the results using line graphs and other types of charts to show a positive or negative correlation between the time spent on social media and the eating disorder symptoms. So based off what I find in my data, the line graph would be positive or negative, and yeah, I would kind of showcase my data that way. And if my null hypothesis is true, I would like to further my research and find out what is the main cause of eating disorders. So for example, instead of studying time spent on social media and eating disorder symptoms, I could study genetics or other entertainment sources like television shows or movies and see if that correlates to eating disorders instead of my original idea, which was social media. And then here are my sources. And thank you.